Are we live now? Just a second. I guess yes. Okay, I think we are live. So, some glitch there, I was unable to start the streaming. Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everyone. क्या साकिब तुम एलेक्सा से तब्बू और अजय देवगन के ज़माने के गाने बजवा रहे हो? ऐसा कैसा चलेगा? Good evening, everyone. Namaskaram. How are you doing? And I will start today's session by thanking all of you for your beautiful Diwali wishes and birthday wishes. I was overwhelmed. I just think I'm lucky that you guys love me so much. All right, so today is the last session that has, that comprises CAT 2021 RCs. We've done all the RCs, all three slots, all RCs. Two are left. We'll do them today. And they're pretty easy and very doable. So yeah, let's get it started. अंग्रेजी वालों में प्योरिटी नहीं होती. ओके. बैच ओवर होने के गम में वाईटी ग्लिच कर रहा है. तुम लोगों को गम हो रहा है बैच ओवर होने का? ओके. ऑल राइट प्रद्युम्न, चलो लेट्स बिगिन. कम ऑन, लेट्स डू इट. करेंगे, जैट भी करेंगे दिसंबर में, डिसीजन मेकिंग करेंगे. कर लेंगे इशिका, वो भी कर लेंगे. वीडियो ऑर्डर तानिश चैनल पे हैं कितने वीडियोस जो मैं ऑर्डर बताऊं? गिनती की तो कुछ वीडियोस हैं. ठीक है, चलें आगे बढ़ें. बना लो तुम बर्थडे. लेट्स गो अहेड. यस, कैन वी चेंज द स्लाइड? नमन तुम स्पेशल हो गया, तुमको एग्जामिनर बताएगा नमन बेटा एंट्रोपी का मीनिंग ये होता है. You have to do the passage without knowing the meaning. No, it's already explained in the passage if you read carefully. एनमैट के सेशंस लिए तो थे, अभिषेक कोई आता ही नहीं है. Nobody comes. उज्जवल जब तुमको अच्छा लगे. अभी तो यू शुड कॉन्सेंट्रेट ऑन इम्प्रूविंग द बेसिक्स विच आर नॉट देयर ऑन यूट्यूब. दीज आर प्रैक्टिस सेशंस. Are we done reading? Can we discuss now? उम्मीद तो है अभिषेक. Ujjwal, you can join the Telegram group from the description. We'll talk there. Now is not the time or place. Okay, let's go to the questions. When you need the passage, it's there on the Telegram channel and group. Okay. Question number 1. ये रहा आपकी स्क्रीन पर. Done? Can we go ahead? Next question. चले आगे. Next question. Done? Last question for the passage. That's what she said, Aditya, in the class. Okay, have you understood the passage? Yes, you don't need to understand what entropy is. Okay. अगर समझने की कोशिश भी करोगे तो लिखा हुआ है हाउ मच डिसऑर्डर. What happened to the pen? Come on, dude. Okay, so this says how much disorder or entropy. Okay, congratulations. The pen nib has broken finally after 2.5 years. Anyway, I can't get a new one right now. Let's try and manage with whatever we have. So it says, here, how much disorder, okay, or entropy. Okay, I am using the mouse, so I might not be very good with marking or underlining or writing. Writing is impossible for me right now. Okay, so even if you have not read about entropy earlier, I think this portion is enough. All right, आगे बढ़े. हाँ, आज का दिन ही पहले टेक्निकल ग्लिच था, ये टूट गया है आगे से. देयर इज नो निब हियर. Anyway, it's a bit like fuel use in a car. Let's do the first question. Do you have any questions from the passage? Let me know if you have one. Just because I'm using more fuel doesn't mean that I'm going faster or further. Let's go back here and read this portion. यहाँ से it says the relationship that the researchers found is a limit on the accuracy of a clock. So it doesn't mean that the clock that creates the most possible entropy will be maximally accurate. पीछे लिखा है कि accurate होने के लिए entropy produce करनी पड़ती है. Yes, यहाँ पर लिखा है ना कि it comes at a price. The maximum accuracy is related to entropy. It creates every time it ticks. Okay, so therefore we know that accuracy is producing entropy. Increasing the clock's accuracy is increasing the entropy of its surroundings. But the vice versa is not true. जैसे all P's are Q's does not mean all Q's are P's, if you've done DR with me. So then it says the relationship that the researchers found is a limit on the accuracy of a clock. It doesn't mean that a clock that creates most entropy will be maximally accurate. Accurate है तो entropy होगा, entropy ज़्यादा है तो accurate होगा, ज़रूरी नहीं है. Hence a large inefficient grandfather clock is not more precise than an atomic clock. It is a bit like fuel use in a car. तो अगर आप faster जाते हो या further जाते हो तो fuel use ज़्यादा रहता है. लेकिन अगर आप फ्यूल ज़्यादा यूज़ कर रहे हो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि आप फास्टर और फर्दर जा रहे हो. इसका मतलब ये हो सकता है कि आप ट्रैफिक जैम में खड़े हुए हैं या गर्लफ्रेंड की बाहर गली में खड़े हो के गली में मारे फेरे पास आने को मेरे अंबरसरिया चल रहा है, रूम समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट. ओके, सो देन रिवर्स रिलेशनशिप इज नॉट ट्रू एंड देयरफॉर आंसर नंबर 1. इफ यू गो फास्टर इन अ कार you will tend to consume more fuel, but the converse is not necessarily true. In the same way, increased entropy does not necessarily mean greater accuracy. Greater accuracy means greater entropy, but not vice versa. ठीक, हाँ, thank you Sake for the reminder. I can actually sing it. Trust me. हाँ, ठीक है. चलो, number 2. The further you go in a car, the more fuel you use. In the same way, the faster you go in a car, the less time you use. मतलब कोई सेंस है इस बात की? कोई सिर पैर नहीं है. ठीक है, तो यहाँ लिखा है कि भैया जितना दूर जाएंगे उतना फ्यूल यूज़ होगा, तो फास्टर जाएंगे तो लेस फ्यूल यूज़ होगा. स्टूपिड. ठीक. ऑल्सो डज नॉट एस्टैब्लिश एनी रिलेशनशिप विथ क्लॉक्स. ठीक. ओके आदित्य, व्हाट हैपेंस इन द क्लास स्टेज इन द क्लास. ओके. ओके साकिब, इफ यू मेजर द स्पीड ऑफ अ कार विद अ ग्रैंडफादर क्लॉक, the result will be different than if you measure it with an atomic clock. पीछे लिखा है कि accuracy ज़्यादा नहीं होगी grandfather clock की atomic clock से, तो ये गलत है. This is opposite. Okay. The further and faster you go in a car, the greater the amount of fuel you will use. the greater the amount of heat produced and hence greater the entropy. The heat is not mentioned here grandfather clock वाले केस में. पीछे सिर्फ इतना लिखा है कि फास्टर और फर्दर के लिए फ्यूल ज़्यादा लगता है, लेकिन फ्यूल ज़्यादा डज नॉट मीन फास्टर एंड फर्दर, सो डज नॉट एस्टैब्लिश द रिलेशनशिप करेक्टली. आंसर इज 1. ईजी क्वेश्चन, बड़े आराम से कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े. यस, तो ऑथर मेक्स ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग. चिराग सोना गुड मॉर्निंग. बाबू पानी पिएगा. हाँ, आजकल सर्दी थोड़ी हो गई है ना, हल्की हल्की, तो कहवा बना रही हूँ. कहवा लाऊं. ये क्या समझाया है? हाउ मच डिसऑर्डर और एंट्रोपी लिखा तो है. डिसऑर्डर सब बता दिया. सो रहा था. चिराग तले अंधेरा. हैशटैग दिवाली. ऑल राइट, लेट्स गो टू द सेकेंड क्वेश्चन. द ऑथर मेक्स ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर्ग्यूमेंट्स इन द पैसेज एक्सेप्ट. तो किसको मार्क करना है? नॉट ट्रू को, नॉट मेंशन को. ठीक है, और दोबारा दरख्वास्त कर रही हूँ, पता नहीं अब कब मिलेंगे. एग्जाम में अगर एक्सेप्ट स्मॉल लेटर्स में आए तो भी तुमको दिखने मांगता है. ठीक है, सो डोंट गिव मी स्टूपिड एक्सक्यूजेस कि ना इस बार तो स्मॉल में दे दिया था, हमें तो कैपिटल की आदत थी, ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. बी केयरफुल व्हाट इज बीइंग आस्क्ड. ओके, द ऑथर मेक्स ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर्ग्यूमेंट्स इन द पैसेज एक्सेप्ट दैट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन एक्यूरेसी एंड एंट्रोपी में नॉट अप्लाई टू ऑल क्लॉक्स. इज दिस गिवन और नॉट गिवन? Where is that line? Yeah, we can't be sure these results are actually universal though, because there are many types of clocks for which the relationship between accuracy and entropy has not been tested. So can I say that the relationship between accuracy and entropy may not apply to all clocks? Yes, I can say that. Researchers found that the heat produced in a system is the price paid for increased accuracy. Researchers say that entropy that cannot be reversed in the universe is the price that we pay. जब हम घड़ी की सुई चलाते हैं तो यूनिवर्स में एक chaos क्रिएट होता है जिसे आप रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते. You cannot take it back. That cannot be put in order again. You are creating disorder. हीट नहीं लिखा है. This is problematic. आगे चेक करते हैं, कंफर्म कर लेंगे. There is no difference in accuracy between an inefficient grandfather clock and an atomic clock. यही लिखा है पीछे. It does not mean that a clock that creates the most possible entropy, blah blah blah. Hence, a large inefficient grandfather clock is not more precise. It means it's as precise. So there is no difference. Correct. In designing clocks for quantum computers, both precision and heat have to be taken into account. Last paragraph. Here. ठीक, कहाँ गया? Both accuracy and temperature are crucial. तो ये भी ठीक है. तो इसका मतलब कोई दिक्कत? Easy peasy again. Let's go to the third one. Very easy. Let's apply elimination. What is your answer? I think entropy is pretty crucial, which helps us rule out two options. When you measure two options, membrane and arrow of time are not the right ideas. Measuring time and accuracy versus entropy are the important ideas. So therefore the answer is 3. You can't get a question easier than this in CAT. If you left this passage because entropy नहीं आती है, mistake. If you left this passage because I am weak in science, mistake. If you did not apply elimination and you did not get these answers correct, blunder. Okay, so pretty doable. Let's go to the last question. None of the following can be inferred except. None except means, so when I say, I have given you a similar example earlier, nobody except me came to the party means I came to the party. So what are we looking for? We are looking for an option which is true. So what is true? Quantum computers are likely to produce more heat, more entropy, and therefore, not therefore, but because they are trying to get us accurate results. More accuracy will mean more heat and more entropy. One says the arrow of time has not yet been tested for atomic clocks. It says arrow of time has not yet been tested. It has been. Or it has been not. बोलो जल्दी. False. Yeah. Grandfather clocks are likely to produce less heat. It's not mentioned ki less heat. It just says that grandfather clocks, an inefficient grandfather clock is not as accurate as an atomic clock. So again, not okay. A clock with a 15 nanometer thick membrane has been made to vibrate, producing electric currents. पीछे क्या लिखा है? 50 nanometer thick membrane of silicon nitride vibrated by an electric current. The clock consists of it. Okay. Whereas this says a clock with a 90 nanometer thick membrane of silicon nitride. ठीक, vibrated by an electric current. It says has been made to vibrate producing electric currents. You're not producing electric currents. The vibration has been produced using electric currents. Okay. So the answer here is 2. Quantum computers are likely to produce more heat, temperature लिखा हुआ है, and hence more entropy because the emphasis is on accuracy. So high accuracy, high entropy. Measuring time accurately increases the entropy in the universe. Newscientist.com, 530 words, easy peasy. 8 minutes is ideal for 4 attempts. You should have done this. You should have gotten all 4 correct. You should have done this in 8 minutes. You should have chosen this RC. You should have read a lot of articles from newscientist.com. If you haven't, then you still have time. Read this and more from this website. We all know that science is a recurring theme in RCs. ठीक. Question 2 में क्या क्लियर नहीं है बताओ. Heat produced in a system is irrelevant. बाकी के तीनों दिए हुए. What is your answer, Naman? ठीक. Priyanka, we've done all the odd one out and PJs from CAT. We can pick it from some other source. You guys can let me know what all videos do you need in the comment section, not in the live chat. The live chat cannot be repeated and seen. कि कौन क्या बोल रहा है. Write your suggestions in the comments. ठीक. Comments विवेक. Accuracy obviously नहीं तो ये 50% भी नहीं बचेगी तो अटेम्प्ट बढ़ा के क्या होगा. 10 में से 3 ठीक करोगे तो कितना नंबर आएगा. 3 3s are 9. कर लग ला लो -7 2 नंबर आएंगे. ठीक है आगे बढ़े. चलें नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नेक्स्ट पैसेज. ओके कम ऑन लेट्स फिनिश दिस. हरी अप. कहीं नहीं जा रही हूँ चुपचाप आरसी करो. चलो हरी अप. Can you guys also hear the Radhe that's going on in my neighborhood? Or is it just me? नहीं आ रहा. गुड. ओके. One or two words don't matter, Ayush. If you can understand the passage 85%, you'll be able to do the questions. How come the number of Sindhis in the session have increased? नहीं आदित्य. Are we done? Are we done? Can we discuss the questions? You can solve the question, Ayush, despite not knowing the word ally. Also, you should try to guess the meaning of the word ally from the sentence. कहाँ लिखा है? ये लिखा है yet Mr. Pinker stresses one point that should allay such fears. तो फियर को क्या बढ़ाने की बात करेंगे या घटाने की बात करेंगे? तो ऊपर और नीचे का पढ़ोगे तो पता चल जाएगा कि घटाने की बात हो रही है. शाब्दिक अनुवाद नहीं कर सकते, भावार्थ तो कर सकते हैं ना. Allay means to reduce, mitigate, alleviate, lessen, put aside. वो कैब इम्प्रूव करो, मेहनत करो, कोई शॉर्टकट नहीं है. देर इज नो घुट्टी. यू गाइज आर टू यूज टू इंस्टेंट थिंग्स. या भिगोया धोया हो गया, 2 मिनट में मैगी बन गया, ऐसा नहीं होता. चलें आगे. Done? चले? Last question. Done? Okay, shall we discuss this passage a little? Yes? Not too much, maybe, but yeah. A little understanding will help us do the questions very quickly, because anyway, we'll have to come back and then. So it says, नोम चॉम्स्की ने बोला, एक नया डॉक्ट्राइन दिया उसने कि लैंग्वेज दैट मोस्ट ह्यूमन इज इनिट इज समथिंग दैट कम्स फ्रॉम इनसाइड द ग्रामर फैकल्टी was built into the infant brain, and your average 3-year-old is not just a mere apprentice is an intern in the great enterprise of absorbing English from his or her parents, but a linguistic genius. So basically Noam Chomsky is saying that we all have a grammatical faculty which is already there in the brain, in the infant brain, and the children are not just becoming good at languages by absorbing it from you, they already are linguistic geniuses. Since this message was couched, which means fit in terms of Chomskyan theoretical linguistics in discourse so opaque is not transparent, that it was nearly incomprehensible even to some scholars. Many people did not hear it. So when Noam Chomsky talked about it, it was discussed, the discourse, the satsang around it, the discussion around it was so non-transparent that even scholars couldn't understand it. They just shooed it away. In a brilliant, witty and altogether satisfying book, Mr. Chomsky's colleague Steven Pinker. So now here is where Chomsky's work is different from Steven's. Chomsky's work is opaque, incomprehensible, लोगों को समझ नहीं आता है. Whereas Steven Pinker is writing a brilliant, witty, altogether satisfying book. Has brought Mr. Chomsky's findings to every man. Every man is a term for layman. Okay. The language instinct he has gathered persuasive data, that's the name of the book, from various fields such as cognitive neuroscience, developmental psychology, and speech therapy. Okay. To make his points, when he disagrees with Mr. Chomsky, he tells you so. From Mr. Chomsky and Mr. Pinker, somewhere in the human brain there is a complex set of neural circuits that have been programmed with super rules, making up what Mr. Chomsky calls universal grammar, and that these rules are unconscious and instinctive. So both of them are agreeing. This will help you mark the answer where it asks you where will they disagree, blah blah. Chomsky and Pinker, they believe that there is a complex set in a nervous system. There is a neural circuit which has super rules. And that is what Chomsky calls universal grammar. And this is instinctive. It is from within you. And it's unconscious. You don't have to even think about it. 50 years ago, this could have been poo-pooed as a black box theory. लोग इसको बोलते कि बेकार है. They would have discarded it, poo-pooed it. Since one could not actually pinpoint this grammatical faculty in a specific part of the brain, because there was nothing in the brain that could tell you that, dude, this is what is being involved in the understanding of language. But today we know that our Broca's areas, which is in the left side of the forebrain, that is responsible for us understanding language. So which means neurosurgeons are now supporting this idea that there is a language faculty, grammar faculty inside our brains. Unlike Chomsky, Pinker, now unlike Chomsky means Chomsky and Pinker will differ here, places the wiring of the brain for language within the framework of Darwinian natural selection and evolution, which means Pinker uses Darwinian natural selection and evolution to explain the wiring of the brain for language, but Chomsky doesn't do it. It will help you mark the answer. He effectively disposes another answer, another option of all claims that intelligent non-human primates like chimps have any abilities to learn and use language. Disposes of all claims means खारिज कर देता है, मना कर देता है. क्या claim मना कर देता है कि intelligent primates also have the abilities. He says that chimps can speak, but their brains can't produce grammar or use grammar. So maybe they can make noises and they can speak, but they can't do this. Okay. On the other hand, the language instinct, when it first appeared among the most distant hominid ancestors, must have given them a selective reproductive advantage. Another option of another question. So according to Mr. Pinker, roots of language must be in the genes, but there cannot be a grammar gene any more complex than a heart or a complex body structure. So maybe we have a grammar gene, but it's not more complex than the other genes. This proposition will undoubtedly raise the hackles. Hackles is the hair that you have here at the back of your neck, and that gets erect when you are scared or when you're taken by surprise. Very clearly seen in animals, okay? Goosebumps से similar कह सकते हैं. Of some behavioral psychologists and anthropologists, for it apparently contradicts the liberal idea that human behavior may be changed for the better by improvements in culture and environment. Now, who will raise their hackles? Who will get surprised by this idea that we have a grammar gene? Anthropologists and behavior psychologists. Why? Because they believe that environment and culture can change us, and it can bring about an improvement. But if it's something innate, if it is something related to your genes, environment and culture will not be able to change it. It might seem to invite the twin bugaboos. Bugaboos is like a boogie, yeah? You understand boogie, like boogies is boogeyman, everybody knows, yeah? Of biological determinism and racism. So, when you talk about it, then people will say that, oh, this is very deterministic, this is very racist. But Mr. Pinker says that no, there is nothing racist about it. There are 4,000 to 6,000 languages. But if you were an alien, then you would feel that almost all languages sound similar. So maybe anthropologists like to see the differences, but the differences are superficial. They exist only on the surface. They are very minor. Ultimately, we all are very similar, even if we are very different. The differences that we have are only skin deep, which means they are very on the surface. How deep is your skin? It's just on the surface, right? The fundamental unity of humanity is the theme of Mr. Chomsky's universal grammar on this entire. So the book is very, it's not racist, and it talks about unity of humanity. Right? I hope you've understood. Yes? Okay. Let's go to the questions. Very easy again if you understood the passage. It can be inferred that all of the following are true except, which means we are looking for a false answer. He has not drawn from behavioral psychology. He's disagreeing with behavior psychologists. He's drawn from cognitive neuroscience, developmental psychology and speech therapy. And anthropologists or behavioral psychologists के तो बाल खड़े हो जाएंगे. So behavioral psychology वाला portion is false and therefore the answer. First वाला कहता है disagrees with Chomsky on certain grounds. Yes, Darwin वाले portion में लिखा हुआ है that they don't agree. Unlike Chomsky, Pinker says this. Second slide, first line. Draws extensively from Chomsky's propositions is also okay. He was a colleague and he drew on what Chomsky had already said, universal grammar, etc. Writes in a different style is also okay because Chomsky's work was incomprehensible, whereas Pinker is writing in a witty, brilliant manner. So 1, 3 and 4 are true, whereas 2 is false, and therefore the answer. Let's go to question number 6. Which one of the following statements best summarizes the author's position about Pinker's book? The author clearly says that the book is not racist in the last paragraph and the last line. So that's the answer. First fella says culture and environment play a key role. This is the anthropologist's view and behavioral psychologist's view, not the author's position. So therefore wrong. Anatomical developments like the voice box play a key role in determining language acquisition skills. The passage is not really highlighting anatomical developments or voice box का role in the passage, in the learning of language. The evolutionary and deterministic framework of Pinker's book makes it racist. The book is not racist as per the author. And Mr. Pinker allays the fears when it comes to the book being called racist. Therefore, the answer is 4. Yes, they are, Ayush. Mocks are difficult, deliberately made difficult so that you do well in the exam. You cannot do kharab easy practice and then suffer on the final day. Your practice should always be tougher and harder and make you sweat and bleed. Okay, the more you bleed, the more you sweat in the practice, the less you will bleed in the battleground. Okay. According to the passage, all of the following are true about the language instinct, except that, again, we're looking for a false option. Does it have an evolutionary reproductive advantage? Yes. All intelligent primates are gifted with it. He says he disposes of all claims that they have it. So this is wrong and this is right. Not all intelligence primates are gifted with it. Okay. Developments in neuroscience have increased its acceptance. True. We know about Bracos and the left side of our forebrain, etc. Take. What skip? Nothing needs to be skipped here. This is a very doable passage. On the basis of the information, Pinker and Chomsky may agree with the Darwinian explanatory. Direct specified idea question. बाकी सब ठीक है. Universal grammar भी दिया हुआ है, language instinct भी दिया हुआ है. Inborn language acquisition is a point of view by both the people. Very doable again, and 4 attempts again would be ideal in 8 minutes. Linguistics 525 words. Again from Cat's favorite NewYorkTimes.com. The language within us is the source. Okay. So we have officially completed all RCs and all parajumbles and Theta questions from 2021 CAT. All 3 slots, all 3 papers have been covered in various videos. You can let me know in the comment section what do you want to be taught on the channel, what do you want me to cover in the coming 3 weeks, or maybe you want a break now and I should concentrate on CAT 2023. Whatever suggestions are, you're most welcome. Please write them down in the comment box. Yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you can. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Take care of yourselves.